Have you got a chance to check out any of my videos?
Man, I used to watch your videos and I would see reputables, go up there and talk. Man, I really like the Baba Louie. Man, I love Baba Louie, man. We were in juvenile hall together. He was in the big kid unit, G&H, over there with Pookie and James Miller and all them. They'd be over there fighting and shit. Baba Louie wasn't no buster. He would fight. And then I seen him up at the long table.
Tell me a little bit about the long table.
Okay, that's something everybody kind of refers to it now as the round table or the long table. What it was is it was actually called ASD, which meant anti-self-destruction. So there were people at that time that were trying to get the point across to us that unity was important.
I seen them up at the long table. They all rolled in. We invited them down there to try to make them buy into the peace treaty. I met bartender that night. I had already knew Putin.
There was a gentleman by the name of V.G. Guinness, who was a gang counselor. I believe he was like one of the first gang interventionists. And with VG, this is where I met T. Rogers. And they were the ones, as far as I know, they were their organization or whatever was instrumental in putting this ASD thing together.
They were just as down as we were, and it just depends on which side of the track you were on when we pulled up on each other, would get the ace that day.
I don't know if they paid us $50 individually or $50 all together. I think you could bring like 2 representatives from your neighborhood.
We basically would just fight each other, man. That shooting and that killing shit, it would be far in between, but when it would happen, it would just like send a fear through that community and make more people want to do it. They shot Took and everything, but they didn't kill him. One of theirs got killed. So the hate is just gonna be getting more hate. And you guys don't even know what you're fighting for. You just out there fighting now.
Fighting old wars.
Yeah, he just hating each other because he wears red, he wears blue, he wears green, he wears yellow. All that shit don't make no sense, man. At the end of the day, you're gonna be scared to go out of your house. You'll be like, oh man, I can't go over here. And you know something about gangbanging? Our mamas and dads don't care. Because they'll ride your ass in any neighborhood. And you be in that car trying to squat down and duck down, and your mama look over at you and say, what the fuck are you doing? Sit up in the seat and act like you got some goddamn sense. And you gonna be like, oh, I'm over here in this neighborhood, my mama don't need to know, but I'm fuck, why she driving over here? And then, man, when you doing all that shit, man, you get your mama shot up. You can get all kind of shit happen, man, because that's the way you guys roll it.
Yeah, that's really tough.
So you guys need to just, on a positive note, and it doesn't make you a buster, to go up to another guy and face him like a man. Have a conflict with him, an argument, or a head-up fight. What happened to a good old head-up squabble? And you guys act like you got squabble because every time I see you, you doing fast stuff. You playing basketball, you running races, you catching footballs. You got the athleticism to be squabblers. So I don't understand why you guys want squabble. And all the shooting, if an OG whips your ass, and then you go come back and shoot the OG, that's crazy. If an OG beat my ass when I was a little kid, I would be like, oh well, I learned from it. But now you guys got this thing, if someone whips your ass, then you want to kill him, and that's crazy. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make you a man. Then when you go to the joint, you're going to start taking medication. You're going to be on medication because now you're afraid because you don't have your gun, you don't have your homeboys behind me. Like I told you, you got to learn that hand-to-hand combat. to survive in there. And if you don't got the skills for hand-to-hand combat and how to disarm a person, take a weapon from a person, how to take a knife stabbing and not panic out and bleed out, if you don't know how to tape yourself up, you don't know how to do these things, you get in there, man, you're just gonna be, man, somebody's bitch.
So out of your brothers, any turn 8-tray or any turn 6s?
Oh yeah, because my little baby brother, little Lucky, you know, that was his age group. He went to Horseman, and they were just carrying on the tradition that, you know, I started, with Pookie and them started, with Tookie and them started, with, you know, all the homies started that went there before us. Even though they were Capones, I'm going to say they started it, you know, even though they was under a different name, the Capones were Crips, you know. And so my little brother, he was a little kid, you know, and he didn't, you know, I told him he was a Magnificent Seven, but he couldn't really relate to that because we were much older than him, and I would regulate him. You know, my mom would say, I think he has a gun, so I would go take his gun. He don't got no gun. You know, I tell mama that. And then if I see bullets, I know there's smoke, there's fire, I would take his bullets, and I would go tell his little friends, you know, to pump the brakes on the shit that they do, and they would listen. The good thing about it, they would listen to me because they knew that I lived it and they knew that I was down, so they would listen to me. But when they would be out there by themselves, they'd be raising their own little bit of hell that they raised. You know, my little brother, he was down too. And he was good looking. My little brother, one time my little brother had a broad. One time my little brother, he had a broad in the house. She was like 18, my little brother's 14. So I come in there, I say, who are you here to see? You know, you in the house, who you here with? I'm here with Lucky. I said, no, you too old for my little brother. You gotta go. You know, and this is how it was. My little brother, he looked at old for his age, but he was just a baby. And Mouse was a Mac. You know, Mouse had the big old Frody Oaks, strong, could chunk him from the shoulder. Well, I grew up in the Hoover Street boxing gym, 78th and Hoover, you know, learning how to chunk him. Cannonball Green taught us how to fight when we were kids. So, you know, Mouse, he worked too. You know, he always kept a cool car, dressed real sharp. As soon as Mouse would come in the room, you know, at a party, all the girls would go, ooh, shit, look at this nigga. You know, and that's just how it was. You know, Rusty was a good dude, man. He was strong. You know, Rusty was like me. Sometimes I would give Rusty advice. Wait for me, and then we're going to bank up to the Consolidated Plaza. Wait for me, and then we're going to go to the Funk Festival. Think Rusty would listen to me? Rusty would put on his ace deuce and bank up there and get jumped and fight, you know, and I'd get the word, and then we would build up there, you know, with the reinforcement and had to regulate what was left that was there, you know, but Rusty had his own mind.
So Rusty chose 8-tray gangsters?
Because there was nothing else left. Rusty was like me. Like I said, I could go in any Crip set, you know, and if everybody got locked up in my neighborhood, I might be banging out in Compton. If everybody got locked up down there, I might be on Cute 102, banging over there with Crazy Crippin' them. If they all got locked up, then I might come a little further down, you know, be banging over there with, what was the tall brother's name, the cool one? He used to drive the Camaro. I'd be over there with him banging. You know, I just move around.
Have you ever heard of 6'5" neighborhood Crip?
No.
Holy Shaw?
Oh, yeah. But that was, he turned the name of the Dinka Crips into neighborhood first. It was just neighborhood, and then it became, you know, 60s after that. But it was the same thing.
What was the first neighborhood gang you remember?
That was up there on the other side of Western. That was over there with Big Blue in them. That was the first neighborhood. Everybody know that in the hundreds. Yeah, that's the reason why Odie and them quit calling themselves neighborhood, because I told them that. You know.
What type of dress style did the Magnificent Seven sport?
Well, my brother, you know, he was like a model, Mouse, and people would see him and they would say, man, why don't you ever tie these vitamins for us? Why don't you, you know, wear these clothes? They had this magazine called The Scoop, and they would have Scoop of the Week. They usually put a girl on the cover of Scoop of the Week. Girl that had a nice derriere, you know, she'd be thick. It'd be one of the neighborhood sisters, you know, and we'd be like, ooh, I know that girl. I'm gonna go over there and trip off her, you know, and we would just be sharp, man, you know, wear vests, suits, slacks, Stacey Adams, because the The dress came from I guess, the original East Coast. Iceberg Slim lived on my street. Iceberg Slim, the legendary pimp, he used to always pull up in his ancient ass Cadillac that had the half of a sunroof top, and we would all crowd around and talk with the Iceman, and Mouse really liked talking to him, and he would just be schooling us about shit, man, how to dress. Yeah, but not only pimp shit, he was telling us how to dress. He said, yeah, grown man shit. He's telling us, you guys gotta start getting sharp, man. Get some hats. Go down to the New York hat store, get you guys some lids, and we would be like, all right, man, we're gonna start dressing sharp. So I was a little reluctant. I was like on the end of that, but all of the other sevens, they were starting to get too sharp. I was like, man, Pookie in, they'd fall off sharp, Pretty Boy. They would all be sharp. Herman Moncrief, man, he used to wear this trench coat. Well, it was a maxi coat. That's what they call it, maxis. And this was the style at the time. Had a big old fur around the collar. And for all I know, could have been chinchilla or mink. I don't know. But it wasn't no fucking rabbit. And they would be banking, man, into the clubs. And Stagger Lee and them would be all draped up in jewelry. And Kiki Washington's brother, well, Mark Washington's brother, Kiki, he would all be busting hard. Then after a while, you would feel not right if you just got on some, Western surplus drab. You're like, man, I got to get me some clothes. Once you start changing the outer man, then you can start working on the inner man, because it's the inner man that's telling you, now you're starting to take a full look at yourself. You're looking at your attire, the way you're thinking, because if you dressing like a thug and you wondering why the cops is pulling you over every time you leave out of the house, then that's the reason why, man. It ain't that they think you this person or anything, because you fit a certain model of a person, a group that they didn't already, study. And they figure if you dress like that, you might be having a gun, or you might be a part of this clique. So you inviting, the cops to harass you if you can't afford to put on good clothes. Just, put on what you got, man. I didn't have a lot of money, so I had yokes. So I said, whatever I put on, I'm going to look good. My brother had yokes. So we could put on a dollar shirt. And if we busting some 17s, 18s, 19s, 20 in that dollar shirt, they ain't looking really at the shirt. They looking at the guns. So if you ain't got a lot of money, just get some clothes, that fit your body right.
All right, you want to end this on something positive. What's the message you got for us?
The message I got for us, it's not a bad choice if you thinking about joining, becoming a Christian, becoming a Muslim. It's not a bad choice if you're thinking about going to the military. It's not a bad choice. Whatever choice you make from this point on, I want you to weigh the consequences of your choice. I want you to weigh the consequences of your choice. What effect is it going to have on yourself, your opponent, and what it's going to look like, a few years from now. If you make that choice to get that gat, that's a gun. Slang from when I was a kid, cool term. If you make a choice to get that, and you make the choice to use it, then what do you think your future is going to be the next 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And who do you know? The other person that you're going to get might have a gun too, because that's how you guys roll now, And I think that this level of violence that exists to today is based in a deep-seated self-hatred, and it's based in a lot of fear. And I think you guys should come up out of that, and be more braver. The last words I had with Big Swig, that was the founder and the leader of the Van Ness Boys, with his big brother, we all know. I already said his brother started that gang, Sailor Boy. But the last words that me and Swig had, it was in 1979, and I was in the county jail facing my life. Getting my... Swig told me, because when I came into Marjorie and opened the gate, I hollered out West Side. And there was nothing over there but a bunch of people from the other side. And Swig said, that's Cutes. And then he got bailed out that night. Connie and them bailed him out. And Swig said, I'm going to leave you all of my stuff. And I said, Swig, you down that road, you going home? Yes, I'm going home, Cutes. I'm leaving you all my stuff. I says, all right, Swig. Hey, Swig, please be careful out there. They already had killed Roe. And I told Swig, I said, Swig, you gotta be careful. He says, all right. He says, I said, the streets ain't the same, Swig. I said, you gotta be careful. So I'm telling you young people right now, be careful. I'm telling you right now, if you choose to be a gangbanger, that's your choice. But remember, there's gonna be consequences with that choice. And if you think you can deal with that, then you free to do that. You got free will to do that. God gave every man and woman on this planet a free will. If I were you, I would choose something better than that, man. You don't gotta become a man to fight in the join this gang in the and make your bones in your neighborhood. You could come up out of your neighborhood, man, and be something like Daryl Strawberry. You could come up out of your neighborhood, man, and be something, like some of the people who just come up out of those neighborhoods. Michael Concepcion. You could come up out of a neighborhood and be somebody, man. You don't gotta stay down there. So it's just, it's just a call to you. I'm not pleading with you. I'm just asking you.
Are you cheating on?
Yeah, I'm just asking you, And if you take my advice, you're going to say, all right, the old man was right, And don't look at me. Don't say, damn, this motherfucker, he went to the joint and he did all of those years and he still got his faculty. He ain't looking all shot out and toe up. Hey, man, don't use me for that marker, man. Please don't. I'm telling you, you don't know what I think about when I'm at home laying in my bed. You don't know what kind of dreams I have. All you see is what I'm telling you right now, man. You don't know what my demons are, man. And I tell you one thing, I don't get high. I don't use drugs. I'll tell you that much. I don't do self-destructive shit anymore. And maybe you won't be that lucky. So I'm just telling you should think about your life and think about your decisions. And don't let nobody that grew up on the hill tell you what to do. I mean, I'm talking about all of these intellectuals who come in and try to weigh in on our shit. They didn't walk our path. They don't know our streets. They don't know our families. They don't know the dysfunction of the homes we come up in. If they would have grew up the way we grew up, man, they would have probably killed themselves for less, man. And we know they have.